Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Season 1. I don't know if we'll get more seasons, but we got one. And this is mostly directed by Kate Coiro, who has done things like I Love Girls 5 Eva, and she directed that. We have Jessica Gao, who created this series, and this focuses on Jennifer Walters, who is Bruce Banner's cousin. And after an accident, she winds up getting some of Bruce's blood in her, and she becomes a Hulk herself, She-Hulk. Except she can control it better because she doesn't have all the trauma that Bruce had growing up, which his story's pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. But you have Jennifer, and this series is focusing on her and dealing with the fact that she's a lawyer, but now she's a celebrity lawyer and everybody wants She-Hulk. And she's trying to date, she goes on apps and going on dates with people, and it's one of those kinds of like, this is a rom-com series who just so happens to have a superhero at the center of it, or at least somebody with superpowers who may or may not become a superhero at some point. She's very reluctant, and I think that is an interesting approach with this, is that similar to Bruce Banner, it's like, they don't want to embrace the Hulk. They're kind of upset that they have a Hulk in them in the first place. And that's definitely true about Jennifer as well. But Tatiana Maslany is absolutely fantastic. I love her. She is, and her charisma is infectious. Every second she's on screen, from a smile or a smirk or the way that she looks at another character, you're just like drawn in. And the way that she has such great chemistry with so many of the other characters in this show, especially Daredevil, who winds up showing up towards the end of this first season. But, oh my god, their interactions and them teaming up and other stuff is one of the best parts of the show. And it feels like a nice payoff to all the crap that she went through in terms of dating throughout this. She really has a great chemistry with Charlie Cox. Maslany and Cox are just like fireworks from the second that they're on screen together. And it's fun seeing Daredevil in this series and seeing a different side to him, which I did enjoy. You have your side characters like her friend, Nikki, played by Ginger Gonzaga, who's a lot of fun. And, you have some other characters like Pug, played by Josh Segarra, who, they're like those side characters that are like the fun pals in a rom-com, and they have some adventures on their own that I think are a lot of fun. They don't spend too much time with them, and maybe if this was like a more drawn-out kind of sitcom, we probably would have gotten more adventures of Pug and Nikki, but for what we did get, I thought they were fun. I do think it was a nice setup at the beginning with her and the dynamic that she has with Bruce. And Mark Ruffalo is great, as always, as Hulk. And they seem to be going in some interesting directions with that character. And they sure have an interesting reveal towards the end. Now, this series really, especially towards the end, dives into this fourth wall breaking and the fact that this is not just a traditional series that's coming from Marvel. And some of it works, some of it's a bridge too far, but it still produced something different and interesting. I do think that the last episode is really muddled. There's certain things that I really enjoy about it, but other things feel very messy. And in general, I think some of like the editing and some of the directing in this series can be a little bit messy, and not all the humor hits. Not every episode is a really enjoyable episode, but for the most part, I had a lot of fun with this series. I do think it was a cool idea. You have such a great actor right at the center of this who really anchors this whole thing. And in the end, I think this is a really fun series. I do think that like the antagonists were really wasted here. Like Jamila Jamil, who plays Titania, just feels completely just why. She just occasionally pops up and then barely does anything. But you do get Benedict Wong, you do get Wong, and then you do get Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky as the Abomination, which they go in some interesting places with that character and kind of leave the door open for some interesting new adventures with Wong the Abomination. So this is a fun series. I enjoyed it. I think people are being really harsh on it, but it's something different, it's something fresh, and I love Jennifer Walters, and I look forward to seeing her in more Marvel projects moving forward, hopefully on the big screen too. But those are my thoughts on She-Hulk Attorney at Law Season 1. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.